Welcome to the Everything Podcast. This episode I'm going to react to the trailer for Season 2 of X-Men 97. But before I do, I'm recording this episode on the 1st of June 2026. And Matt, you'll be glad to know that this episode will not be 30 minutes long like my Ab Elementary Season 5 review recap will. Which, if you're listening on audio, will have released yesterday. If you're watching this episode on YouTube, my recaps of the first 4 seasons of Ab Elementary there, and Season 5 will release at some point soonish. As well, just keep an eye on the YouTube. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe. You get notified about it, or the Podcast X page, because all of the episodes, all the audio ones do, and I think Matt still does the YouTube ones. You can find them on there. But yeah, kind of. Hopefully, we shouldn't reach that because obviously that's half an hour. Normally, I can record at least 3 episodes in that gap. I think there might be one other episode, but it won't be anywhere near that. There's just a lot of logistics and explaining to do for that one. But yeah, even though, as you will have, if you've listened or watched that Ab Elementary recap, you will have noticed that I mentioned a lot about Big Finish stuff, and this is the last episode that's not Big Finish, especially if you're listening on audio, for a while, for probably nearly a week. But most of them are announcements, which, as I talked about, because of the not having a backlog and not being able to record, they're all kind of smudged together instead of me doing them in a different order. But don't worry, there is one on the list at the bottom which isn't Big Finish, and 1st of June 2026. We don't know when things are releasing, so hopefully they'll be a bit more spread out. Because it's actually only one recap, the rest of it, announcements of stuff, because they tend to announce stuff for 2 months in advance most of the time, so all the stuff that we know that was announced at the last week of May will be for July. So now in June we'll accept stuff for August and so on, but sometimes that doesn't necessarily work. Like, we have news about the 8th Doctor Adventures but not releasing until November and December, so who knows. But back to this, I will be reacting to the trailer for Season 2 of X-Men 97. So if you're thinking, before I show you the trailer, which I will do, but X-Men 97 kind of was a continuation of the X-Men animated series. I actually, it was that long, it's like over 2 years ago since those episodes released, so it's during that era where I was recording each episode individually. So those episodes are now available on YouTube. They're not on audio, but obviously you can listen to them as well. They are available on the YouTube channel. I think they're in a playlist called X-Men 97. You might have to. I think they're kind of from newest first. You might have to scroll a bit, but you should be able to find it. Or I think you could. Can you search playlist? I don't think you can. Anyway, obviously, as I mentioned then, which feels a long time ago now, I didn't watch the animated series, so X-Men 97 was kind of my introduction to the X-Men, and I'd heard bits and pieces. Obviously, we've had Deadpool and Wolverine since this. We've had loads of stuff happened in the last 2 years. We've had Agatha all along. We've had 2 seasons of Daredevil Born Again, a Punisher TV special. So yeah, before I talk about the trailer, here is the trailer for Marvel Animation's X-Men 97 Season 2.
It's hard to believe what's not waiting for me. Someone I lost. Someone special.
X-Men are scattered through time. In the past, from the start of Apocalypse's reign, to the future at the height of his rule.
The X-Men. I must strike them at their most vulnerable. The 1990s.
Jeez, could have at least bought me a drink first.
X-Men back to the 90s.
You fight a battle that cannot be won against a
dawn of an age that cannot be stopped.
This isn't just about us. It's about everyone we've lost.
Forms the beginning of time. To the reaches of tomorrow. We stand together, right here, right now. I believe in the X-Men. We're back, baby.
That was the trailer for, I don't know what I was about to say, but it wasn't what it was for, which was X-Men 97 Season 2, which if you've watched, obviously you can't hear it on, what was I about to, the 1st of July 2026, so a month today when I'm recording this episode, so 30 days, so it's about 4 weeks away, which is about 3 weeks away when you're watching this episode, so we knew it was coming at some point this year, we just didn't know when, and about time too, considering the last season was 2.5 years ago, well, nearly, but I think it's been renewed for season 3 as well, which I think is coming out next year, hopefully. Because 2 years for a season is probably ridiculous. Bear in mind, DC, I know it's not the same, but DC, the Arrowverse had 22 episodes a season every year, October to May, or June. And Doctor Who as well did 13 episodes a year. So it is, obviously it's animated, and Invincible kind of maybe a slight parallel to that kind of, but that's back to every year now. So there was a while where it wasn't, and it did have I think season 1 and 2 there was quite a big gap, so maybe it's just that, and who knows, but kind of it's the end of, slight spoilers, but I was talking about the trailer, so if you've not watched season 1 then do so, but the end of episode 1, the X-Men is separated. I can't remember why, but that's what happens, and that's where everyone has to try and get back, and there's obviously Gambit died in season 1. I think something had to happen to Magneto as well, but I can't remember. Obviously, my instructions to, as I said, to the X-Men, all through X-Men 97. Obviously, we've got Avengers Doomsday at the end of this year, Avengers Secret Wars at the end of next year, so kind of being familiar with those. And actually, even for Deadpool and Wolverine, my only knowledge of Wolverine really was from X-Men 97. Wolverine, obviously, this show, obviously, it's created by Marvel, but not set in the MCU because it's animated and not necessarily the same thing. Similar with What If, which I talked about ages ago. But that's kind of it. Just time travel stuff. Fears. It seems that there's themes of grief. Obviously, a lot of fighting in it. And Apocalypse seems to be the villain for season 2. No idea who that is, so waiting to find out. But let me know what you thought of the trailer for X-Men 97 season 2 if you what you thought of it. Also let me know what you thought of season 1, and if you're planning to watch season 2 when it is released from the 1st of July 2026. Without further ado, I will see you in a future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.